Who's listening?
I don't know, but there was no fire starting. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just gonna not touch that one. Don't touch this.
That's what she said.
I'm not touching
That's
that.
what she said.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. That's for sure. Oh goodness me!
Let me tell you what. Out in that sea air, just doing and everything, and you go out, you eat the whole 9 yards, and you walk around and you go down to Washington Street, which is like the pedestrian, the 3 blocks worth of shops and the pedestrian mall. It's all closed down. It was a street at one time. Now it's for years it's been, the mall on the street.
It was a street.
It was. And you get back to the room after a day of goofing around like that, and I don't know about you, but I was just beat. I was tired. I was very tired. So very tired. And that's how that went, But we had a good time. We had a very good time. It was good to get away. We ran around a little bit on Monday. I had to take care of a few things early on in the day. But Sunday we were at the beach. Monday we were at the beach in the afternoon. Saturday till we got there, we walked around nice and, had some dinner and, had an actual black and tan beer where they had
Guinness and just
like a lager.
Lager.
Just fantastic at Hannah's Ugly Mug. We always do that. We ate at the Cape May Seafood Company. We ate at the 2 Mile Crab Shack.
I want to know about
Wildwood
drama.
Crest.
Was there any drama?
No drama. What do you mean?
Gossip?
What?
I don't know. This is
No. When do you know me to participate with drama and gossip?
I don't, but that's why I was asking about it.
There was none.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted some juice. I wanted some juice.
What kind of juice?
I don't know.
What were you thinking there was going to be juice?
Like, juice. Juice.
Like what?
I don't know. Something good. I don't know.
Well, what would be good?
Oh, a good story.
Like?
A good story? I don't freaking know.
What constitutes a good story?
I don't know. Juice.
There's
Gossip.
no juice.
Gossip.
About who?
You.
I got nothing.
You don't got anything?
I've got no juicy gossip. Gossip juice.
No, but I mean, like, is it nothing, like, there's like, oh, my God, you won't believe what happened on our trip. Like, nothing like that?
Nope.
Well, what the You're boring. John, you're boring.
I'm not boring.
John, you're my partner in crime, but damn, you're boring.
Wow. What?
Because I wanted, like, a story. I wanted you to be like, oh, I want a vacation. There's always a vacation story. It could be, like, something that happened in the water or something. Like, whenever you go on vacation, there's a story. Like, there has to be a story, like one story. Tell me the story.
The closest thing to a story is, we got talking on Sunday about Jamie had to, oh man, I should have stopped at Chase Bank. I had to pay a bill, and I think the closest Chase Bank is over in Dover, Delaware. I'm like, so you're thinking we're going to take the ferry over to Lewis, Delaware, and go up to Dover? I said, that's going to be all day. We're going to blow the whole day. I said, there's got to be a Chase Bank closer. So I looked it up, and I found a Chase ATM just up in Ocean City. We got there. Was there a Chase ATM? In the immortal words of Andy Braun, oh no, there was not.
They like me.
Well,
I know things.
I could see where there had been one, because there was a bank that clearly had been a Chase Bank, and it had converted to something the hell else, and it wasn't updated online. So the next closest one was up in Egg Harbor. Okay, now mile markers. Cape May is at mile marker 0. Okay, and a little below on the Garden State Parkway. We had to go up to exit 58.
Okay.
58. Do you know where I get on the Parkway?
What exit?
98.
Oh.
I'm only 40 miles away from getting off the Parkway to come back home. We finally find the place. We put the directions in, and it takes us to this lawn and garden place. I'm like, what the crap is this? What the hell is this? Because it wasn't right. So, and then LPS, we're running low on gas. Mm-hmm. Okay, gas is low. Like 10 miles to go until empty.
Get gas, it's low.
Get gas. Not that gas.
Not that gas.
Sorry. And so we're running, and we go Route 9 south. Now we're going south. parallel to the parkway. And we go through the town of Tuckerton, which I'm familiar with from years ago.
Tuckerton.
Just buzzing through. Nice little place. I wanted to stop at the seaport, but, we didn't have time.
You sound like Rain Man right there. I wanted to stop at the seaport.
Didn't have time.
I wanted to stop at the seaport.
Definitely seaport.
You totally sounded like Rain Man.
Uh-oh. 8 minutes, now 7 minutes to Wapner. Yeah, of course my underwear's in the highway now. So we go through the town of Tuckerton on Route 9. I'm thinking to myself, where the heck is this Chase Bank? Well, it's right in the front area of the Walmart there. They built this big giant Walmart, and there's a brand new Chase Bank. So we finally got that. So after like 125 miles round trip, and did I mention it's only about 129 from East Brunswick to Cape May? Mm-hmm. Just saying. Mm-hmm. We finally got back. But the good news is we got the bill paid. That's the big thing.
That's what the moral of this whole damn story
is. Well, we didn't want to get late. No late fees. Late fees bad. So we don't want to incur a late fee. That's the story. That's the little...
You know what I watched last night?
You are not impressed.
I highly recommend this movie. I love movies where women kick ass. I love it. And this woman is like Charlize Theron. I'm like, I love her. She's the sexiest bitch, man. She is like one hot piece of ass, that woman.
Yeah, she's something.
Like, she really is. I mean, I don't know. She's like 50 now, and she's like still a hot piece of ass.
Whoop-de-doo.
Dude, really, like, come on now.
Jennifer
Whatever.
Aniston,
But
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, they're
Charlize
50.
Theron, big deal.
God, man. But I was watching this movie with her called Atomic Blonde.
Yes.
And she kicks ass in this movie, but she has a little lesbian scene, too. I was like, shit, I'd be lesbian to be with Charlize Theron. I would. There's not many women I would say that about, but she's one of them. I'll tell you that. Sexy bitch. And then I was watching that movie, and she was kicking ass, man. She was, like, taking names. She was taking on, like, 6 guys and, like, kicking their ass and getting them, killing them and beating that.
Violence.
It was hot. And then they had an amazing soundtrack, too. So the music was all, like, 80s music and 90s music.
Cool.
And they're playing like Depeche Mode, and like it's such a good movie. I really liked it, so I highly recommend Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, it's really good, and she's really good in it. I don't know. That's what I want to talk about. So, what happened to your vacation?
We got the bill paid at Chase Bank.
Okay, and then what happened? Like nobody, fell and broke a toe, or nobody got stung by a jellyfish.
No.
Nobody had a bad meal at a restaurant?
No, we had good meals at the restaurants.
Nobody got hit by a rock? No.
Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, none of it, no.
Nobody got a speeding ticket?
Nope, no.
You had a boring vacation.
I thought I was going to get a speeding ticket, but the guy went by me. So
okay, that is not part of the story.
Trooper.
That is not. You have like a boring vacation. Okay, let's go to something. Let's go.
I had a relaxing vacation.
Relaxing is boring.
No, false, wrong.
Relaxing.
Yes.
Okay, you went to your old honeymoon spot with a woman that you divorced and now you're back together with.
Correct.
And you rekindling romance. And that's more of a story there. I think I just told the best part of that whole friggin' vacation was what I just said.
Oh, congrats. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, you should be. I'll dictate what your life's about going forward. I'll tell you what you and Jamie should do. You want me to spark that for you? I'll spark it up for you because apparently you're not doing a good job. Sorry, I got your back, Jamie. I got your back.
Yeah, that's just what I need.
Yeah, you do.
I'm moving. Where? I'm not telling you.
Yeah. Oh, I'll track your ass down. I can find anybody. I'm a stalker. I'll pick you up. True people search, man. I'll find your ass. Don't worry.
Man,
I know where you've been.
Oh, man.
I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
I don't know. Well, let's talk about when you met your family because I know that's going to be a much better story.
I got to tell you, not really.
What?
You're going to be like, it's boring.
Walk me through it. Okay, well, first, let's preface it for the people who didn't catch the story 2 weeks ago. Let's just preface it. What exactly happened to you?
All right, late July, early August, I hear, I'm on Facebook, and I get this. I don't know why, but, you have your messages in Facebook, and then you have the other messages that you don't always check or see because
Especially if they don't come from a friend on your Facebook, they get into this weird
Right.
folder.
Yep.
And they get hidden and you have to go into it. It's really
And
weird.
that's where this ended up being. And I wasn't on my smartphone. I was on the, on the desktop, hey, when you go downstairs tonight, will you run my bank balance? Pardon me. Okay, Dad, no problem. So while I'm on there, I'm just goofing around for a minute. I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? Spotted the last name that was recognizable. And lo and behold, I can say now, my sister Caroline is like, hey, you don't know me, and however, I think that I'm paraphrasing here, I think that may change.
Excuse you.
Time out for this sip of
So
water.
we need that like in the radio when you dump out a coughing and shit. That's what we
Yeah, I
need.
need a cough button.
And swearing.
7-second delay. So, I don't know you, but, I think we may remedy that soon because Ancestry, blah, blah, and checked it out, and here, screenshot that you evidently just may be a full sibling, not a half sibling, but a full sibling. And the long story of that little incident is, yes, I am. My biological parents had me back in 1964 in October on the 12th. P.S. Just a couple of shopping weeks left for my birthday. Just putting that out there. And then, the problem was that they weren't married. Okay, he was about 40 and she was in her early 20s, and it didn't look good. And he had a family. Pardon me. He had a family, and again, she was a young woman, and that was that. So she got pregnant in early '64. She went to stay in D.C. with a friend, and he ended up paying for it, I found out, which was, real nice of him, I guess, in retrospect. And in October of '64, there I was, okay? About 4 or 5 years later, they ended up getting married, okay, which was, I guess, a good thing, because from that came my two sisters, my older little sister, Melanie, who was born in 1970, I believe, and then Caroline, who was born 8 years later. And they had done this...
Sweet, Caroline.
P.S., because of where they live in upstate New York, so far up and east, they are, you'll love this, they're Boston fans.
Yeah! Now I like them.
Okay. Well, you didn't before?
Well, I didn't know them. Now, even if I don't know them, I like them.
Okay.
Keep going.
So, at any rate, Caroline...
That's the highlight of the story for me.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Jeez. Where was I? So, yeah, two sisters and so forth. And I found out that my biological father, he passed in '82. I kind of knew that it was around the early '80s that he had passed, because here's the thing. My biological father was, ready, when my parents first moved to Englewood, New Jersey in 1955 to 1959, and then after for a little while when they were down in East Brunswick for a few years, Bill was their dentist. And Margaret was the hygienist, Bill being the father and Margaret being the mother. So that's just how that worked out. And, I don't know how. That's the one thing, again, with it. Today, again, is my mother's birthday. She would have been 94. That's the one thing, because I asked all sorts of questions as I got older in the whole story. The story was never put under a carpet. It was, as soon as I got curious and I asked the questions, they would be answered. Okay, and I knew from a very young age that I was adopted, and that was fine. What I would love to know is how in the actual hell did they get this little bit of information about, oh, we'd love to have a family, to their dentist. Okay?
That's weird.
Because they were, at least maybe they were a little bit in their younger years, but as far as I knew them, from about 35, 40 on up, they were not ones to, just talk about that kind of stuff.
Right.
To whomever, okay? Family, friends, let alone, the doc. You know what I mean? So evidently he got wind about, they would love to have a family, and mother had some health issues that, one doctor said, oh, you ought to get pregnant. Another one said, no, 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 don't do it. So they didn't know what the hell to do. So to err on the side of caution, she didn't, but still wanted to have a family, mother and dad did, because if nothing else, my mom was one of 6, and my father kind of dug the fact that, by marrying my mom, he got this instant family full of all these folks, and he just had a ball with them all, even, through the years. I mean, he really did. So they wanted a family, and they, were reticent to do it the regular way. So along comes the doc and the hygienist, and about October you may just be in luck, so to speak, and bingo, that's how I landed with mother and dad. So then Caroline's doing this Ancestry.com business a couple of years ago,
Sure.
and something came up. You might have somebody out there. Okay, and
his name is John Talon. Sorry.
Friendless optimist, man barely alive. So a couple, when they first started nosing around on that, all the details and information and technology was still unfolding with Ancestry.com. And, she even mentioned it to her mom about, so, is there? And she would just dismiss it because, back then it was, shh, the neighbors. You just didn't discuss it, and the upshot of that was, hey, it's dealt with, done. In the books, goodbye. And there was no discussion of it. Well, then about 2 years ago, Margaret, my biological mom, she passed, like almost exactly like 2 years ago now.
You knew that 2 years ago, or you found that out when you met that your your biological mother had passed away? Okay.
Correct. I just found this out. Oh, back to my biological father passing in the early 80s, I kind of had an inkling, mother and dad did too, because, again, as the dentist that they had seen probably for 8-10 years, and then with all of this factored in, he moved his practice for several years to, of all places, Bermuda. Go figure. And they would always get Christmas cards from Dr. Harnett. Happy Christmas, Merry New Year, and P.S., how's the boy? Always, P.S., how's the boy?
Oh, that's creepy.
Okay. Well, not to mother and dad.
No, I know, but
because
in retrospect, I'm saying like right now,
not really, because he wanted to know. Because he wanted to know how's the boy, And all of a sudden, they quit getting cards. So, they surmised that, well, evidently he has, passed on. And he had 2 strokes, and he passed on as a 58-year-old gentleman. And that's just how that went. And then back to my biological mother, Margaret, she passed 2 years ago at age 77. She had a heart thing. Go figure. And that was the end of that. But, afterwards, my sister Caroline kept nosing around and getting, pardon me, on Facebook, on Ancestry.com. And, updates would happen and updates would happen. And I guess earlier this year, it was, again, full sibling, male. Oh, because now my information is in that system as well. I did the whole boogie about, 3-4 years ago. I got my whole ancestry dealy done. Found out what my, where I'm from, so to speak. And I'm like, okay, good to know. And that's as far as it went, okay? People who I knew previously, and one of the gals who I had dated and been with for probably almost 5 years in the earlier this decade, she was real good at tracking stuff down, and she found out, she says, hey, you may have some people up in like upstate New York or New England. I'm like, good to know. And not that I was, curmudgeonly about it. I wasn't. Oh. No, I wasn't. I'm like, listen, my whole thing has always been, there are obviously reasons why how things happened and why things happened, okay, with me being adopted. I could not have ended up, wished for, hoped or dreamed for a better place to be than where I was, where I grew up, as a young little
young
baby,
buck.
As a little tyker, as a school kid, as a teenager, all the way up to right now. I really couldn't have asked for anything better.
So,
And Margaret and Bill had their reasons.
so again, what was it like meeting these people? Were they nice people? Were they
Wonderful people, just lovely gals. I mean, you got two women who are my sisters who are in their 40s, one in their early 40s, one in their mid-late 40s, and you know what? They're lovely people. They're just nice, good people. They may do weird wobbly things but I doubt it. I like to think I'm a pretty good read on people, and it was nice. I walked in, and I got a hug from both of them. We met at a place up in Blairstown, Buck Hill Brewery, I think it's called, like a brew pub, and food and drink and football and what. And it was just nice. We spent a few hours just basically shooting the breeze.
shooting the breeze?
Shooting the breeze, getting to know one another.
Getting to know one another.
Yeah. And it was nice. I walked
Angie
in
Everhart turned 50.
and she still also looks good, I got to tell you. Caroline is the younger sister. They're both in education. She's like one of the top people at the high school in the town where she lives, up in upstate New York. And Melanie is also one of the top people at I think it's called Vermont Academy. It's kind of like, Pingree, Princeton Day petty school around here in New Jersey, Wardlaw, like where I went. It's a private school up in Vermont, and they're both in education. There's Melanie is a mom. Okay, she's got two sons. One's a senior in high school. I think one is, probably 10 or 11. There's a little bit of an age gap, but you know what? You can tell she's a mom, and that's a good thing. I don't mean this as a shot, not even close. She's very particular with to me, with how she is, how she conducts herself. That plus, being one of the straws stirring the drink at a private school, it's you got to watch your P's and Q's. Caroline, you know what? She's to a point like that too, but she's more like me, at least at first blush. She's more Howard Cosell, tell it like it is, and just let the chips kind of fall. I mean, not over the top, at least not to where I've seen yet. Could be some over the top. And there's also a little bit of that in Melanie, too. We got talking about stuff, and all of a sudden, it just black,
Did you take pictures?
Yeah.
Is there like a group family photo of you with your newfound siblings?
Yes.
I would like to see that, please.
Do we need to see this right now? Or
because you're telling a story, and no, our listeners don't know who they are. I want to see.
I'm
I think my description is going to be better.
Of course.
Once I see the picture, I'll tell you exactly what they're all like.
Oh, yeah.
You should have that as your whole Facebook. It's a big moment.
I should do a lot of things.
You're trivializing this. This is a huge thing.
No, I'm not going to get over
that. Wait a second. That's your sisters?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's Melanie. And that's
Isn't that weird? Those are your real sisters.
I know. It's very great.
Like, those are your sisters.
I know.
Isn't that crazy? Did you cry?
No, I didn't know what I was going to do.
I want to do this ancestry thing. I don't know. Maybe I have some more family out there. I might. I don't know.
I was.
I don't know my dad, so I don't know. Like, if I did it, I could find my dad's side. I know my mom's side, obviously, but I don't know my father's side. So I'd love to do this Ancestry 23andMe, whatever it is, and try to find my dad, like my dad's people, my dad's side. My dad. I'd like to find that out. So that's like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's your sisters.
I know.
Like, you didn't know you had.
I understand.
Like, were you, freaked?
Beforehand, and I don't mean right beforehand, I mean just leading into it, it was heavy. It was a little heavy.
It's your sisters.
Well,
now,
only because, but I say
and
that.
you have nieces and nephews?
I've got two nephews.
So, are you going to, stay in touch and be, a family?
No.
Oh.
Of course I am, yeah.
Oh, okay. This is a cool story.
But here's
Don't
the
you
thing.
think? I do.
Well, yes, it's a very cool story, but it was one of those things to me, I can't speak for them, but one of those things to me that here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be like, hi, I'm here. Hey, listen, you mind if I put my feet up on the furniture? Hey, make a long-distance phone call. Hey, got anything to eat? I mean, not literally, but, so to speak. You know what I mean? I don't want to. Here, I know.
You could get to that point.
But here's eventually, and I don't know when eventually is, and I'm not pushing because I have two now very nice, lovely sisters.
They look like you.
Do they really? Okay. Well, I'll be damned because they're my full sisters.
So weird.
Here's what I don't want to do, and I have. From the tall grass, I have seen this. I haven't been on hand firsthand, but there have been others who I know who have found people in their family and or vice versa, and the found one, for whatever reason, is so eager or was so eager to get all the way in just like that, to the point of it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Take it easy. It's been, 35, 40 years.
Baby steps.
Without you. Didn't know anything much, if anything, about you. And now, you're coming over for Sunday dinner tomorrow? No.
Right.
No,
Baby
no,
steps.
No. And that's exactly where we are. Okay?
Right.
I even said something to the effect of, okay, so what's next? And, because of their schedules, my schedule, then being...
And where do they live now?
Upstate, well, one is in upstate New York,
Where says upstate New York? That's fine.
Selkirk, straight up the thruway and off to the east. Okay,
and
so
then where's the other sister?
She home in South Orange, but she's only there every other weekend because she's the one up at the Vermont Academy.
Oh, right.
And she's up there.
Right.
Okay, so it's not like they're just around the block. I can see them all the time.
Right.
Okay,
You have to make a special
it's
trip.
got to be a calculated. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Whatever this was going to be, I don't know if Now, here's the other thing. Melanie's birthday is the day after mine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Weird.
Can you dig it?
I can.
So I'll always remember that.
Right.
Okay. Caroline's birthday, and I mentioned this to her, and I said, "Now listen to me. This is a good thing. This is not a bad, awful, sad thing." I said, "Your birthday is on June 30th, and that's when my mother passed."
Oh, wow.
But that's okay.
Yeah, because
I'm not saying that as a you. No.
I know what you mean.
It's what? It's good because now. For 5 years, and it's only 5 years, but it's been 5 years, that date has been the biggest piece of garbage, or one of the biggest pieces of garbage in my life, okay? February 11th, hate it. That's when my Grammy passed away. December 22nd, hate it. That's when my Poppy passed away when I was 11, okay? And it still hurts like a bastard. Since 1975 and 1980, respectfully, December 22nd.
You ever thought about seeing a therapist about that, or?
No. The hell for?
I don't know. To talk it out, to feel you don't.
It is what it is.
You still hurt. You want to.
Because I'm a human being. Because I love them.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But here's the thing. My sister Caroline, having a birthday on June 30th, just made June 30th not suck. Okay?
Well, that's good.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Well, that's good.
I've got other dates that I can take or leave. And it's holy fright. 1975. It's 44 years coming up, and 39 years coming up. Time is a friend. It still stinks. It still hurts a little bit, but you know what? I don't hurt quite as much as I did. It still hurts though. Okay. This June 30th that was just garbage is now now it shines very brightly.
It shines
for me.
so bright.
It does. It's a good day now, you know? And, you know, I don't wonder if there was, again, a little nudging from upstairs saying, hey, come on, you know? And okay, one way or the other. Bottom line, look at them, they're cool. I mean, you know, the three knuckleheads. I mean, we're in good shape, you know? I love them. I mean, you know.
I think that's wonderful.
I mean, I love the fact that they're there, that they're around, okay? And I'm sure as time goes on, and there's a love there. And I'm sure as time goes on, that's going to burgeon and get bigger and define itself. And, you know, and I even told him, I said, listen, here's the thing. I said, and please hear my words very carefully. I said, if there's one thing about me, I choose my words almost always very, very carefully, okay, even when I'm going on a roll. I said, up until I found out from you that, you know, there was you, I had no interest in looking. I said, people have.
I remember I asked you that. Yeah,
I just didn't, and I don't mean that, and I didn't mean that angrily or curmudgeonly.
Right.
I didn't. I don't. Okay, it's just everybody 55 years ago had a reason why me, the baby, needed to not be there, and I ended up here. And yet, and again, I could not have asked for a better situation. My grandparents, I just mentioned, my cousins, my aunts and uncles, mother and dad, where I grew up, the neighborhood, what they did for me, all my growing up, and
Yeah,
no
one's trying to discount.
No,
what
no,
your family
I'm not
did.
saying they are. But I said, listen, I had no interest.
Right.
Not meanly, not, you know, I just literally, I'm good. And I didn't mean that dismissively. It's just, no, seriously, I'm good. You know, everybody had their reasons back then. I get it. It's cool. And all of a sudden, here they come. Here she comes out of left field. And you know what? I couldn't give the stiff arm. I could not. I just couldn't. There's no way. There's no way. You know what? Because somebody took the time, took the effort, you know, the initiative, the gumption, the whatever you want to call it, to find out this information, and it's found. I'm good. I got two sisters. I have got two
sisters.
Sisters. Okay, there was a contingent of cousins or what have you out on the West Coast. Pardon me. Again, I mentioned when I happened, they weren't married. Okay, and he was 40, so he had his family then. So there are a couple of half brothers that, you know what, that'll unfold or it won't. We're just
That's exciting.
True enough. You know, there were three. I think the oldest one or one of the three has passed, and there's two left, and they're older than me clearly. So you know, we'll see. You know, I'm going to say they're in their mid to late 60s, but I've got two wonderful sisters.
That you didn't have before.
No, they're gorgeous.
You went from an only child to a sibling.
As bug's ears, you know. They're extremely cool. They're like as cool as the whole, you know, cucumber section. Not even just a cucumber. They're as cool as the other side of every pillow. Okay, they're just, and I don't mean to gush about
cool
this,
what,
but
huh? Pillow?
Like
what?
like the other side of the pillow. You know, like in the summertime when you get
Is
hot.
it always?
You flip the pillow,
I've never done that.
Yeah, it's cool. Like
I have never done that.
Like the other side of the pillow. That's how cool.
Oh, that's nice to know because I never flip my pillow ever.
Oh, when it's warm.
Maybe I should start doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's all the same. I don't know.
But they're neat. You know, I don't mean to be overly effusive. You know, to the point of, oh my gosh, that's creepy. Like the situation I just told you about with people. We're finally in under a year with this other situation where they wanted to immerse themselves, like, you know, in the deep end right then. It was under a year, and everybody's like, yeah, don't go away, Matt. Please, just go away. As far as I know. And,
isn't that a song?
I have no idea. So there it is. I mean, it's
You have two sisters.
It maybe isn't razor
the moral
edge
of the story
excitement.
is this: you have
Don't
two sisters.
smoke crack.
You want to find out where you're from? Just do Ancestry.com or 23andMe. That's the other one.
Or Judy Garland.
Yeah. Well, new film's coming out.
I saw
And,
Renee Zellweger
yeah,
on
and she's-
CBS this morning.
Dude, she's doing that. That was really spot on. Though I watched the preview. She's doing a really good job
Did a
with this.
damn good job. I like her anyway.
And I think she can win the Oscar for this. I do.
Possible.
And I have to say, I think her chance of winning an Oscar is a lot better than Jennifer Lopez as a stripper. Just saying.
Has anybody seen that yet?
Has anyone seen this
Anybody?
movie that apparently has Oscar buzz? I'm dying to know if this stripper film is Oscar worthy. I'm dying to know because nobody seems
Stripper
to
film,
reach out.
stripper
I don't know
film.
anybody who's seen it. I don't know one person who's seen this movie. Has anybody seen that movie? What's it called? Stripper movie. What's it called? With Jennifer Lopez. Hoods. Horror.
Hosers.
Hunters. No. What's it called?
I have no idea.
Hustlers. I knew it was an H.
Me. I have to tell you. I mean,
Can
as much
we?
as I like
I
Jennifer
need
Lopez,
someone
it
who
does
has
not
seen.
interest
It doesn't
me.
matter. I need to see. I need to know. Because it's not because it's a movie about strippers. I don't care. I couldn't care less. It's not because Jennifer Lopez is. I couldn't care less. I just need to understand the logic in people saying there is Oscar buzz. I don't understand it. Now, Renee Zellweger playing Judy Garland and hitting it spot on, that's Oscar worthy to me. And I haven't even seen that film. But I watch the Oscars every year, and I'm a big movie buff, and I can tell you right now, that I don't understand why there was Oscar buzz about the Jennifer Lopez
Let me
stripper
tell you
movie. I
what
don't get
about
it.
this Renee
Somebody help me.
Zellweger business. They showed, again, it was an interview on CBS this morning, pardon me, on Sunday morning, and they showed clips, and I don't just mean a little blip here and there. They showed significant clippage of this movie. Not only was the look damn near spot on, but she sang the songs herself. They weren't dubbed in.
Mm-hmm.
She sings. Okay? Yeah, I think she's cute as a bug's ear, and I always have. But
she's adorable.
I please, okay? People like her, people don't, whatever. And people gave her the business, 5-6 years ago when she did whatever she did with her
yeah, I
appearance.
don't
And you
care.
know
Who
what? Big
cares?
deal. Don't care.
They all do it.
Really don't care. But the thing it is, cute, beautiful, okay, that's fine. There's some talent on this movie. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, I want
there is
to
some
see
talent.
it.
There's some absolute talent. I
wanna see
would
it.
go see. The other one I have no interest in. This I would go see.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. I do want to see this. It's very exciting. Did anybody see that movie? Why isn't anybody calling me? 609-807-2492. If you have seen that Hustlers movie, I need to know your opinion. I don't care who it is that calls in.
609-807-2492.
Any
Out of town,
person.
do not call collect.
Any person who has seen
Anybody?
this movie, I need to
Anybody?
know the truth. It's going to
Bueller.
drive me crazy.
Bueller.
Did anybody die?
Fry.
Do we have any
Did
deaths?
anybody die?
Like celebrity deaths?
What?
I feel like there was one and I missed it. Someone said some person who's a voiceover person.
What?
Does everybody know what this means?
No.
Oh, why don't you know? Come on. Who remembers? Somebody passed away. Somebody said it was a voiceover person, but I don't know who it was, and I can't find out who it is. And help. What the hell? Why does anybody know? Why am I the only one asking these questions? Who is the person who just passed away? Not the from last week. I'm talking like recently. Does anybody know?
I don't. I got nothing.
What do I look up,
I told, other than CBS this morning, I told, you know what else I'm watching?
What?
And you're probably going to be like,
Curmudgeon.
The Ken Burns country music series. See? On of all things, this is going to hurt to say, PBS. Ooh, ouch.
Did you donate some money while you were watching?
Actually, no. I did not. Oh, the other one coming out. Forgive me, I don't mean to squirrel, but Squirrel is the one with Tom Hanks as Mr.
Mr. Rogers. In your neighborhood.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
In your beautiful day.
Mr. Rogers was, I told you before.
You love him.
He was, when I was, I'm talking preschool, like, you know, and to like maybe 5, 6 years old. He was my best good TV friend, Mr.
I thought you
Rogers.
said he's your best friend, your BFF.
Well, I didn't know him because he was on the TV out of
You did. You could have known. It feels like you knew him.
I really did. It really did.
It's beautiful.
And no, seriously, I mean, you know, people would, you know, make fun of him and this, that, and the other. You know what? He was a lovely guy, as far as I can tell, and I'm looking forward. I'm so thankful that Tom Hanks, or whomever, it just happens to be Tom Hanks. I'm so happy that they've made this movie. It's, you know, to me, it's just not to get all waxing nostalgic or whatever, but it just
Wax on, wax off.
Right. Well, that's Mr. Miyagi. A few years later, I was in college, but I digress. Not to wax all nostalgic or to get all, you know, sentimental, but boy, I tell you what, that was, to me, to a lot of people, you know, from the mid-'60s to the very, very early '70s, you know, was a different time. To me, as a little boy, it was a much simpler moment in my life because, of course, I was just a little guy. You know, no pressures like we have now. And he was just such, you could just tell. I could just tell that, man,
But he was awesome.
He's a nice man. He was a nice man. You know, he was mild-mannered, to be sure. But let me tell you what.
What?
What? What are you, Little John?
No, I was just listening.
What? He got messages across about topics of the day, okay, that other people had a very difficult time framing. He you know, the whole black-white thing back in the late '60s, early '70s was really not good. You know, there was a lot of tension. You know,
Racial tension.
It really was. You mean the Black Panther? Saw I had a fight at your Black Panther party. But for all seriousness, I mean that was some serious stuff. You know, but how he addressed it, he had
awesome.
A gentleman on the show. And they made it like it was a hot summer day.
At the pool.
In the little wading pool. And he was the police officer. Mr. Rogers, clearly a white fellow, and this police officer gentleman, a black fellow. And just two lovely guys, just two good men, good, nice, decent people, hanging out and being, here again, nice and decent. I mean, I don't mean to sound like my Grammy, but you know what? Maybe I do. Because, you know... And I saw the trailer last night. Oh, and it just hit me like a wave. It hit me like a wave, because you know how they say, you know, movie of the year, Variety, you know, must see, you know, Time magazine. One of those was, and I'm paraphrasing here, perfect for the time we could all use a little nice. And that's not that's not the line, that's not the quote, but, you know, just perfect because we could really use some nice about now. And with all this sniping and carrying on that goes on, you know, whether it's, you know, in show business or don't even get me started on politics, you know, just enough already. You know what? Here again, if we had more Mr. Rogerses on TV, if we had more Tim Tebow playing ball, if we had more just, you know, decent folks doing their thing, I don't care what they look like, we'd be in better shape. I can't wait to see the movie. I really can't. I
watched the Emmys and they weren't good because there was no host. But I just wanted to make sure my girl Michelle Williams won, and she did.
Oh, for what?
For the Fosse Verdon special that was on in FX a while ago. And I'll tell you something, because I should just be working in the awards world, because everybody I say should win an Emmy. Jodie Comer, who I love, she won an Emmy as well, and I said she's going to win an Emmy, and she did, of course. And then Michelle Williams, that's from Killing Eve, Jodie Comer from Killing Eve, which is an amazing show. I said she should win an Emmy, and she did. And then the very first episode of Fosse Verdon, the very first, and you can look on my Twitter, I'm not making this up, I wrote on Twitter, when that first episode, I watched the first episode, I said, Michelle Williams is absolutely 100% brilliant as Verdon, Gwen Verdon, like brilliant. I said, if she doesn't win an Emmy, it is a travesty. And she won an Emmy.
There you go.
Because I know what I'm talking about.
Well, see,
I know what I'm talking about. I know. Hence, the stripper movie Jen winning an Oscar.
You know.
I know what I'm talking about. It's all right.
Well, it's like, again, we mentioned this last week. It's like Demi Moore with strip tease.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got
Win an Oscar
Demi
for that.
Moore.
She just came out with a book.
Yeah.
Demi Moore. Just came out with lots of stuff and juice in that thing.
Oh, so you want juice? Buy the book. There you go.
There's some stuff
There's
going
your
on in that
juice.
book. All about like things she encountered in her life growing up as a celebrity. I mean, she was at one point the highest paid actress in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, she was very, very, very popular. And she
Very
just came out
visible.
with a book. And in the book, there's some juicy stuff in there. Things that happened
Hey, now.
to Demi Moore. Is it Demi or Demi?
It's
Is it
yeah,
Demi?
Her.
Or Demi? It's Demi, not Demi. Not Demi Moore, but
You
Demi
got your
Moore.
Demi Moore.
It's like Hallie or Haley, Barry. I mean, I don't know. Hallie. It's Hallie. Demi or
Haley's
Demi.
or Hallie's Comet.
I don't know. But she has a book. Just came out. Very exciting. I'm going to try to read it, I think. I am going to read it.
There you go.
Maybe I will.
We will expect a full verbal report upon completion.
I'm tired. I know I know we started late because of the technical difficulties
Please
and
stand
the wardrobe malfunctions.
There were no wardrobe malfunctions.
I don't know. It just sounds cool.
Wow.
But I feel like tired. How do you feel, honey?
I'm a little, yeah. I'm
I
a
think
little blushed.
I think we can
Call it a show?
What do you think?
I'm up.
We didn't even get our music.
Well, you know what? Listen, we almost didn't even have a show tonight because of all the technical, and thank you to
True.
Microsoft for all
True.
the garbage updates.
True.
What are you going to do?
On the-
Plus, we hear the
animals are
the
here.
animals are coming in for the next program,
The
so
animals
you
are
know
here.
what? It's 10 after.
And it works for them.
It does. See ya.
Well, how'd that happen?
We'll catch you next week. Next
Wow.
time on Real Time.
What the hell was that? Are they trying to tell us something like get out?
Peace out.
Like I didn't even say I was ready. I just kind of hinted. I hinted. I was hinting.
know what heights will hit. Very
Bastards.
loud, thank you. All right, hey, we're good. Let's do it. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Next
Don't worry.
time.
Whatever. Oh, what the hell?
Funny man.
All right, I'm tired. I'm going to go eat. I'm tired and I'm hungry. I'm hangry.
See you, bye.
OMG. Let me start. I'm just tired. Did you not agree with me on that?
No,
I'm beat.